Hi guys, and welcome again to another updated Warframe guide. In today's video, I will be sharing to you an updated Voruna build that allows you to one-shot and nuke steel path enemies while using only her abilities. Aside from this build, I will also be sharing a farming build for this Warframe that allows you not only to enjoy Voruna but farm resources in steel path levels efficiently. But before we proceed to these builds, I would like to discuss first the new Warframe 1999 Arcanes and what works with this Warframe. There's a new good arcane for this Warframe, but there's also a bad one that you should avoid as you'll be wasting an arcane slot since you'll not be getting the full benefit of the item. The new best arcane for Voruna right now is the Arcane Impetus that grants you bonus power strength and ability efficiency per status you inflict to enemies. This is potent with Voruna as she has the Fangs of Rush that allows you to inflict multiple statuses to enemies. The Warframe can inflict 5 random statuses per cast of the ability, and you can inflict 13 unique statuses at max with this skill, giving you 78% bonus strength and 39% ability efficiency from the new Arcane Impetus. The best part is, you only need to hit an enemy with Fangs of Rush to replenish the duration of the Arcane's buff, and this allows you to keep the huge power strength and efficiency buff all the time. There's another arcane that is interesting for Voruna, and it's called Arcane Crepuscular. This arcane grants 30% ability strength and a plus 3 times critical multiplier to the Warframe. The ability strength buff is good enough to get past 300% power strength when paired with power strength mods and the Arcane Impetus. The critical damage multiplier is also good with Ulfrun's Descent as it increases the final critical multiplier of the ability. This arcane somehow works with Voruna because of her Shroud of Dinar that deems the Warframe invisible for a set duration. However, it's not fully working because Voruna has this phasing mechanic wherein her invisibility breaks when lunging to enemies. Every time you attack or lunge to a target, regarding if you are using your abilities, Voruna will break the invisibility coming from Shroud of Dinar, and this will remove the effect of Arcane Crepuscular. The arcane requires you to be fully invisible all the time, and the Shroud of Dinar skill won't be enough to benefit from its bonus. But there's a trick to get the bonus of Arcane Crepuscular all the time, and that is by equipping either the Shade or the Huras Kubro for their mods that makes your Warframe invisible. Preferably, the Huras Kubro is more beneficial for Voruna as you can also equip the Mecha mod set that allows you to do additional nuking with Mecha empowered equip and extra survivability through armor with the help of Mecha Pulse. The invisibility of the stock mod from Huras Kubro can keep the Arcane Crepuscular's buff as long as there are enemies within 24 meters. My only problem is when in mission, the invisibility of Huras Kubro won't work most of the time, and the buff of Arcane Crepuscular is somehow mid for me. In fact, I ended up adding Molt Augmented for more power strength in my final build, then adding 4 Red Tauforge Archon Shards for even more power strength buff. I know most of you will ask why I need a lot of power strength on my Voruna. This is because I want to build up the damage stack of her 4th ability fast. Ulfrun's Descent has this unique mechanic wherein each successful direct kill by Voruna's launch increases the damage, critical chance, and critical multiplier of the ability. At max 10 stacks, you will gain plus 900% damage for the ability, a critical chance cap of 42%, and a critical damage multiplier of 195%. A high power strength causes her 4th ability to deal good damage before we have these buffs, allowing us to get the 10 times damage boost stack faster. In case you don't know, power strength is the best damage boost for Voruna's 4th ability, as other damage boost doesn't work with this skill. The skill is considered as a melee, and you can see Arcane Fury activates, but it doesn't actually give you the 180% extra bonus damage. In addition, Steel Charge doesn't benefit Ulfrun's Descent, and the same goes with adding Violet Archon Shards to boost the critical damage multiplier of your melee attacks. Only power strength can boost the damage of Ulfrun's Descent, along with the critical chance, critical damage buff, and invulnerability debuff given by Shroud of Dinar. It's really weird sometimes that melee buffs don't work, as Lycat's Hunt mechanic wherein you get health orbs per melee kills works for Ulfrun's Descent. Honestly, it's a clunky mechanic, but if you like one-shotting and nuking enemies only using Voruna's abilities, then this is the best build I can recommend for you. But if you are bored with a generic min-max Voruna build that nukes steel path enemies, then you might want to consider a farming build for Voruna. Another reason why I ended with tons of power strength in my build is because it's also useful for my second build variation for this Warframe. For a farming build, you want to subsume Atlas Petrify ability and replace Voruna's fourth skill. Then, we need the Orgaze augment and a build with more than 400 power strength so that every petrified enemies that we kill with any damage sources can drop an extra loot. With this build, you will have more than 400% strength to make this synergy work. The best part is you won't be needing energy maintenance for your Voruna, as she is like Nidus that has a skill to keep up her energy at max. Because of Lycat's Hunt, we don't need to worry about energy problems at all. Simply put one Violet Tauforge Archon Shard that grants the equilibrium effect to the Warframe and you are good to go. You don't need to worry about the lower conversion values it provides compared to equilibrium, as every petrified enemies that we kill can drop health or energy orbs, giving us full energy almost every time. Finally, the Nira mods on my build are personal choice since I am running a slum build. I like the slum meta right now, but it doesn't mean that this is the only way to kill enemies with this Voruna synergy. You can use guns if you please, or other melee weapons if you want to. In fact, the build will get better if you don't have the Nira mods, as you can place more range or duration or any mods that you find useful for your playstyle. So far, I really find the farming build for Voruna enjoyable, as I'm having tons of fun killing enemies and I'm also getting something in return. In fact, I get a lot more with the farming build since I can farm more resources comparing to just using the basic min-max build for the Warframe. Just remember though that Petrify has its limitations and you can't stone enemies with Overguard and even those nullifiers and ancient Eximus units. Better take care of them first so you can petrify the other enemies around the area. Okay, I think I have included all the details on this video for this updated Voruna build. Be sure to check back later as I got more awesome and helpful Warframe synergies that I want to share with you guys. Before leaving, please help us with the YouTube algorithm by simply liking the video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader signing off.